Welcome to another episode of Jets Afterburners here in New York, Jets Stand 16. And I do apologize, Liam can't make it tonight. I think he's somewhere in New Jersey trying to help out the outlets from our good friend Armand, which his whole house is like a fire hazard. With that being said, Johnny boy, welcome to the show, my man.
I appreciate you getting me on. I got some big shoes to try to fill just for the night. Brother Liam's a good guy. I appreciate him, but here I am, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to be on the show with you.
Absolutely. We're going to start chopping it up in just a little bit. Again, I placed the link in there down below, and the whole entire premise of this show is, damn, man, we're 2-5 right now, and can we turn this ship around? And that's the common narrative this whole entire week. But I think it goes a little deeper this week. This week, a lot of well-deserved criticism, and I get it 100%. But I think with the Aaron Rodgers one, we're going a little overboard, boys. A little too much. And I get it. He was brought here, got to win us some games. If you have the ball last, we're expecting him to drive all the way down the field, win you the game. I'm going to pump the brakes on that because the games that we lost, besides the Niners game, I get the Niners game. That was, to me, it was an anomaly. You come out of the gates, you don't know what you got. Rodgers is a little rusty. But now for the ones that are like, Rodgers is washed up, Johnny. He's just washed up. He's old. He's going to be 41, whatever the case is. All right, let's take a game at a time, right? All right, so what about the Denver game, right? We lost 10-9. He drove us down there. He drove us down there during the game. We had our moments, but Greg the Leg turned into Greg the Gimp, right? He missed. All right, so that's a game that, to me, is not on Rodgers. Let's go with the Minnesota Vikings game. Same thing. Greg the Leg. What happened? What happened, Greg? But no, it's on Rodgers because, he underthrew Mike Williams. Another one. Buffalo. Let's go to Buffalo. I'm going to call someone else out. And I know a lot of people are like, how dare you call out Garrett Wilson? When Rodgers threw that perfect ball to him in the end zone, and some might say, he was in double coverage and he got smacked. The guy's not a mechanic. This is his profession. You're supposed to make those quality catches. If you're a straight up Pro Bowler, you're on a different level. You're on that Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. That's what you want to consider yourself. You make those catches. 7 off the board. And again, another 3 that Zerline missed. 10 points. Yet we still push it on Rodgers. Rodgers now last week, he threw an interception before the half. I get it. You know what? Stuff happens. Johnny, right? Things happen. Brady throws interceptions. Manning throws interceptions. The great ones do. He threw another ball to Garrett Wilson. Again, I'm going to get on him right now. It hit him in the chest. It was a perfect throw. Perfect throw. You're supposed to make those kind of catches. Bounces off his chest, interception. I got to blame Rodgers now. I got to blame him. It's like we forgot what our quarterback was for the past 3 years in Zach Wilson. Johnny boy, what you got?
So you're hitting everything right on, bro, because I've been one of the guys that's been preaching in regards about Aaron Rodgers. First and foremost, right? What did we ask for Aaron Rodgers, right? What did we ask him? We said, we just need a player that is competent enough to run the offense. That's all we need. We don't want him to play hero ball, right? Because this offense is supposed to be a run first offense, not pass first.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So then that's not happening, right? What's going on? We're throwing the ball. He threw in that Minnesota game, I think like something like 54 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
The game
Yes.
before that, right, was 35, right? He's averaging right now attempts per game, almost 35 plus. If I'm not mistaken, that's nuts to me. That is not sustainable. That is not winning freaking football, okay,
That's
for
right.
what the Jets were supposed to do in regards. Now, you're completely right. Minnesota, right? Jericho Cotchery, Wayne Corbett, right? Couple names that I'm gonna throw out there for you guys, right? Maybe let's go another one, newer. Braylon Allen. You had I mean not Braylon Allen, Braylon Edwards,
Yep.
Marshall. You know, these guys,
Big time players.
big time plays happen. Big time guys came up and they caught the ball and they did what they were supposed to do.
That's right.
Right now, going in regards to just, you know, blaming on somebody because, you know, of everything in the past that Aaron Rodgers has done, has accomplished, and continues to keep doing. And we're just saying, oh, he's this. 2 knee injuries, an ankle, and a hamstring that is hanging from the bone right now.
Right.
You see it since Denver, he's been clutching at that hamstring. But he's 40 years old. He's Aaron Rodgers. You know, he's supposed to do the impossible and no matter what, go ahead and freaking just, you know, get us a W and all these things in regards to that. It's tough, man. And I can't put it. You got Garrett Wilson. You need to cash those balls, man. You can't do that stuff. And I love Garrett Wilson. I don't want anybody to think that I think that Garrett Wilson is a bomb or anything like this at all. I think that he's just thinking too much.
Way
I think
too
the
much.
whole team is thinking too much, right? And they're just wanting they want to be perfect for Aaron Rodgers because it's what Aaron Rodgers demands in there. I've been here, I've done it, I've won it at the highest level that you can get to and all that. What have you guys got that you guys have done so far? So
See, you nailed it, right? With Garrett. Now I'm going to go to Brees. I love what Brees brings. I love it. But my gripe on him is when he makes a long run, he like runs out of gas. It's like he starts off as a Ferrari, then turns into like a 93 Kia Sorento. Like he turns out like Emmitt Smith, and then while he's going to the end zone, he turns into Burt Reynolds, like in The Longest Yard. Not the original, this one. Like he turns into like a 75-year-old guy, and that's it. Run over these dudes. Brees, you got it in you, man. Like enough is enough. We need our big-time players to make big-time plays to the end zone, not just falling short. It's like the common narrative that we as Jet fans already know. It's 1st and 10. Hand off the ball or a throw, it doesn't matter. And we think it's a first down. Nope. It's a yard shy. So now it's 2nd and 1. And in my heart of hearts, I think you could agree, Johnny. You know for a fact that we're not getting that yard. We know for a fact 2nd and 3rd down, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it.
If it's with Brees, we're not getting it. But we got a bruiser and Braylon that we don't use whatsoever. I mean, you're completely right, man. I'm like 3rd and 1, we're not going to get it. And I'm expecting our team to go for it, which is not sustainable again. Right. You can't do that. You can't ask that. It's frustrating is what it is. This year's team is frustrating.
It is. And the thing is, there's so many good weapons. And I understand what Vinny is saying, right? He's not a number one. I beg to differ. I think he has the number one qualities, but there's certain aspects of the game where you're like, how is that? How did you not make that? Come on, man. Like you could make these acrobatic catches. You can't have the ball hit you in the chest. You can't. Now, Devontae Adams, right? he did his speech, which I thought was awesome.
Agreed.
A lot of people, we've been preaching for the past 2 weeks accountability, accountability. And now all of a sudden, this guy that's been a Jet for less than 6 days after the Pittsburgh game, he's like, hold on a second. I'm looking around this locker room and it's way different than the Raiders, yet the outcome is the same. He had to speak up. He had to say, hold on a second. Something's got to change. We're 2-5. We can right this ship, but we have to be on the same page. And Aaron Rodgers said that he's never seen something like that from him. So for a quiet receiver to not even being, I have to say, part of the team, been there, done that, to stand up and say something like that, kudos, man. Yo, the only one with balls. Quinnen, where are you? Like Mo Wilkerson 2.0. And when we made that point about a year and a half ago, people went off on us, Johnny. We're like, just be careful with Quinnen, giving him the bag, because we've been through this before. Nah, Quinnen's different. Quinnen's different. Quinnen has not done anything. And yes, he's been doubled. So is Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is running right through. Quinlan Williams has to start making plays, not just like once in a while, consistently. This is part of why we're 2-5. All of these players that we're naming, Tyron Smith, Ulbrich, dude, at some point or another, you have to bench him for Olu. But I have a hunch why he hasn't been benched. Johnny, go for it.
All right, so valid points. All valid points. It's the truth. I miss the old Quinnen when he was fiery on the sidelines, cursing out people because of that, right?
Yep.
To me, right, what's going on, I think that culture, right, that loser mentality that's been with the narrative for the Jets for such a long time has finally hit him and has beat him down so much. You know, there's a reason why Salah's not here anymore. There's a reason because of it, right? And within 10 minutes of Devontae Adams being here, you see that. That's on the coaches, bro. That's that coaching mentality of like that, because it starts with them. You know, Vinny said it last week. It starts with Woody too, because Woody got to take some of the blame as well. I don't think Woody has a lot of the stuff because he's trying, at least this time around. I think he needs to hire better of coaches and stuff like possibly, right? But it starts from there, man. And they didn't have those leaders that they should have had. The leaders before were CJ Mosley. He's hurt. Yep. The silent leader of the locker room was DJ Reed. He's hurt. So they weren't in these games. CJ Mosley's back now and all that, right? But who's emerged from that, which is Sherwood, right? Sherwood's still young. He's not going to be that vocal in this one Jets drive, right? Oh, you have Quincy talking about, oh, you know, I need to take a better leadership role. I need to be this. Sauce Gardner, I'm going to be more vocal and I'm going to say this things and I'm going to say that. And you're not seeing it. We're not seeing it. They're fine with like, oh, it's okay. You know, we'll get them on the next one. And that's that Salah stuff, bro. That's what Salah was. It's okay, buddy. And all that. You know why I think for me that I think the next games and I think we go on a run is very promising is because of Devontae Adams. Right. You know what play did it for me? Mm-hmm. Right? Anybody that's ever played any kind of competitive sport or has been competitive at all, right? If you got one of your top guys, right, and he does something where you know a Justin Jefferson's not doing it, where what's his name over there from Cincinnati, they're not doing this, stuff like that. He was the last guy, right, because he was a wide receiver. He went out, right, and still made the tackle. And then you know what he says in the presser? He goes and says this, you know, in the Kay Adams show, he goes, yeah, you know, I was thinking about this. Yeah, Jamar Chase, there you go, right? I was thinking that if I tackle him, I get down, we're going to get the ball back. He's not saying they're going to get 3 points. They're going to get 7. he's still confident enough to say that my defense is so better than your crappy offense that we're getting the ball back. If I'm a defensive player and I hear that from one of these top guys, I'm running through a brick wall for this guy and
Right.
all that. I'm coming in and like, okay, if you do that for me, you understand me, because for so long we've had the defense consistently be that, oh, as long as they keep it close for us, we have a chance. You
Right.
know, the games were 10-3, 10-3. We were just a couple of plays away from winning, from doing this. And all the points that you just hit on, Dan, bro, it's right on. It's right on point, because it's the truth. And I love that, man. And we need more people with bolas, bro. Let's
Right.
say it. Like we need it, man, that have those balls, right, to go ahead and stand up and doesn't care if they're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. If your feelings gets hurt in the locker room, then you need to look in the mirror, man, because
Right.
you might be the problem.
Absolutely. And we may have like something like what Devontae did. It's something that could spark this locker room in spite of this guy. As much as I actually went to bat for Woody Johnson for many years, a lot. You start going into a certain mode and you start asking questions. Yo, why does one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL hate the Jets this much? And I don't think that Bill Belichick hates the Jets. I think he cannot stand Woody Johnson. I gotta be honest. The
I think so
reason
too.
the reason for that is look at what has happened, what has transpired these past 20 years, plus 24. He meddles. He goes in and he wants to do things his way. Case in point, the Mangini years. Mangini and Tannenbaum, and this has been chronicled by Eric Mangini, I think, on the Colin Cowherd show, where he said, Armand, I'm gonna put you on in just a second. Where Mangini said, when I took the job, I told Mr. Johnson, this is going to be a process here. It's going to be probably a good 6 years, 7 years. But if we follow this trajectory with good drafting, good free agency, we're going to have some success. The first year he made the playoffs, right? Second year, Pennington got hurt, this and that. Things were, and players started coming in. Chris Jenkins, Damian Woody. We had a solid, you want to talk about solid draft classes? You know, freaking Leon Washington. Yeah, Darrell Revis, David Harris, Mangold. That 2006 draft was out of the ballpark. Like, yeah, you had like your no-namers. You're not going to hit all of them, and Anthony Schlegel and Kellen Clemens, but you had a core there. There was a plan. Then 2008 happened, where Woody approached Tannenbaum and said, yo, let's get Brett Favre. Let's get him here. Mangini's like, yo, hold on a second. Yes, this would be an upgrade, but it kind of throws everything off balance. Nope, don't worry, he said to him. If it doesn't work out, you have your job. They went 9-7. He got fired. Ditto, the whole thing is happening all over again now with Aaron Rodgers, this experiment. Now, let's change this little play here. What if Woody Johnson was the owner of the Patriots, right? And Belichick was the coach. Drew Bledsoe goes down. Hard hit. Everything the same. Everything consistent by Mo Lewis. I could bet you anything, any amount you want, that when, and Brady was on a run, I bet you when Bledsoe was healthy, Woody Johnson would go down there and say, you better not play Brady anymore. You're putting Bledsoe in there. Why? Because it's egotistical. The reason why I'm drawing this parallel is because we all knew Mike White was such a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. He didn't want to swallow it. Last year could have been salvaged. But no, we have to, Zach Wilson, number 2 overall pick. That was your moment to say, you know what? I'm cutting my ties, just like great teams like the Niners did with Trey Lance. Done. You know what? You suck. You're gone. We messed up. You're gone. Mike White, God forbid something happens to Aaron Rodgers. At least the team, I know that the team can rally around Mike White. Nope. He is very self-centered. And that's the problem with Woody Johnson. Yes, he'll spend money. He'll spend it his way, not for the team. Like Damian Woody said, this is a roster. Correct. It is not a team. And it pisses me off. With that, I'm going to bring up Armand. Armand, what's up, man?
Liam, what's up, guys? Johnny. Like Woody, the one thing is he'll spend on the roster. He'll bring in the high price free agents. When Rex came in here year one, Bart Scott, like he brought in one of his guys, but was one of the highest paid players for us. The negative aspect is he's never paid for a coach. He's never paid for a head coach. I don't even think he's even looked into the head coaches, like the Harbaughs of the world.
Horrible. Unbelievable.
Yo, Dan, and yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, you're right in regards to that. Like that right there for me, it's 100%. The Favre piece that you're talking about and everything, and then kind of compared it. Now, do I think that Aaron Rodgers is better of an all-around player over Favre? Yes, hands down. I believe that, right? But you're right. He's putting the GM in positions again to where it's just like the Tannenbaum situation and all that, right? Hey, we get Devontae Adams. Hey, Hassan Reddick, just drive up I-95 and we got you, dude. Woody and what he said, Damian Woody, right, in regards to the roster and not a team, it is the truest thing that he said. And I was like, I've been saying this for I don't know how long. They're not gelling together.
I said that a few weeks ago on the show.
Yeah. I mean,
I said that a few weeks ago.
It's you see it, like, and in the very beginning of the year, I was like, oh man, look at John Simpson. Like, he's not letting these players get to Aaron Rodgers, and he's pushing them and stuff like that. We stopped seeing that. They're just so deflated again, man, because the culture that was being built from, I believe, within the coach itself, man, after a while, dude, it's the women's battered syndrome situation. Right. You think it's okay to be playing the way you're playing, and you know that things are going to be all right. And that's crazy that what Lucas said, I didn't know that, man. If that's for real, that mentioned that he didn't want to play Rodgers' insurance injury thing and all that.
Crazy,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, because he's about making money. He's about making business decisions in that, I mean, there's a reason why. It's a reason why he goes on X or Twitter or whatever it's called, and he's like, hey guys, guess what, man? You got this week, we're gonna wear, this pattern of our stuff. Like, why is it him having to say that stuff like that? It's tough, man. Like
that stuff shouldn't even come out.
Exactly.
That stuff shouldn't even that shouldn't be released by Woody. Like, usually that stuff is released by the team's social media pages.
Right.
The day before or the day of the game, like, hey, we're wearing this, unless they
but that's all
in advance. Like,
Armand, that's all they have left. That's all they have, because I want to bring it back to the Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers comparison. When Brett Favre was brought in here, there was a core. There was something that was built. There was a foundation. Mm-hmm. Here, it's all disarray. If you look at 2008, look at who was in the locker room. You had DeBrickshaw Ferguson, Nick Bangold. You had Eric Smith, Brad Smith, Leon Washington, Drew Coleman. These are players that were there since 2006. And then you had the next year, you had Harris and Revis. You had a culture there. All those facial expressions that Aaron Rodgers makes on the field, those mannerisms. You didn't see that with Favre because, believe it or not, Mangini was that. He held everything together. And I'm not calling Mangini like a Super Bowl winning head coach. I'm not. But the players respected that discipline that was there. So Favre was an added piece that was.
We had a coaching staff.
But yes, but he was brought in not to change the culture, to elevate the position. Aaron Rodgers was brought in here to change everything. Everything. You can't do that. You can't. Let's look at Tampa Bay with Brady. Same thing. The exact same thing. The foundation was there with Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
Brady was brought in, part of the team. He didn't change that. The culture was there to win, and he was brought in just to like give it a certain leverage where we're Super Bowl contenders at that point. There was something there. The Jets have a void. They don't have something there where when there's adversity, they can overcome it. You can't tell me in the press conference after the game, Rodgers is saying that there was no energy heading into it and throughout the game. That to me is a no-no. And to your point, Johnny, that Devontae Adams play where he dove. I was watching this and I'm like, son of a gun, man. The guy's going for a touchdown. Out of nowhere, I see him just straight up Superman. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. Shoot, it's the only one that gives a crap. It made me feel like maybe, just maybe, there's one guy that gives a crap. He's trying to change this around. And yes, Brady is way better than Aaron Rodgers between the lines at his age, and even way before then. You can make the comparisons. Brady's on a different stratosphere. But we all know that. We all have, reminiscent new assholes that he tore open, as Jet fans. Brady's Brady, man. You can't compare him.
Look, we don't even got to go like with Brady. The game that we just played, right, against the Steelers. Look, one of my biggest points for myself was I was more worried about Tomlin, right? And how Tomlin was playing the mind games in the sense of like, is Justin Fields going to play? Is Russell Wilson going to play? Right. What's going on? This became an actual narrative out of Steelers camp and all that, right? So what does that mean? Oh, shit. I'm sorry for cursing. Oh, snap. That means Ulbrich now, not only does he have the defense and he has the head coaching stuff like that, now he's going to have to prepare for two different quarterbacks, right, that play completely different and all that. And then you know what happens in that game? Wilson starts. He looks like trash. And guess what Tomlin does? Hey, Fields, go start warming up. Wilson sees that, and he's like, I need to play better. Mm-hmm. I need to start stepping it up, and he does. And he starts going back to danger Russ almost, right? Not saying that he did or anything, but there was no beef between each other. Nobody was getting pissed off and all that. No, everybody respects Tomlin so much. They're like, if he's doing this, it's for a reason, right? And we got to go with our leader that has shown us the way for now. But he hasn't won a playoff and all that. At least he got you there. Because we don't know what that is.
No idea. And Russ was throwing freaking ducks, dude. That's what was pissing me off. It was like these floaters. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's going to be batted down. Then all of a sudden, Pickens is making ridiculous catches. Like it just lands right on his armpit. I'm like, how does that happen? And then the guy makes 3 receptions out of 1 pass. Pickens. And that pissed me off, man. Where is the aggressive cornerback play? Sauce, all these other guys. Oh, they're backups. Yo, Eccles has an MO already. Every time he plays, he has an interception. It's a bet. He does an interception and runs it for a touchdown. He does it a bunch of times. He did it against Tua last year. And I think he did it earlier this year as well. So I don't know, man. It's frustrating.
We got that interception against Minnesota in London.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan, why doesn't Sauce travel with the number 1 receivers and all that? Ulbrich, you want to make a name, you want people to respect you, make that move.
Right.
Do it, because from my understanding, you had a conversation with Sauce, and Sauce was under the impression that he was going to be traveling a lot, or unless he meant that he was going to be traveling in London and he had to get his passport, and that's what he was going to do. Right. It needs to happen, man. Just the number 1s that we have, let's shut them down. You have a player that can do that. He can do that, but we don't. Why? What's the reasoning behind it? What do we have to lose?
Right.
You're going to put Eccles on Pickens?
No.
I'm sorry, but if I'm Russell Wilson and I see that, I'm exposing that all day, every day.
All day, man.
Every quarterback's going to do that if you don't see the number one corner on the number one receiver, number one weapon on the offensive side of the ball.
But it's a no-brainer. Like, how do you not do that? And again, now we get someone else in the building, right? And he's a new guy. A guy that should have shown up about 6-7 weeks ago in Hassan Reddick. All right, we're 2-5. We're playing against Drake May, a rookie quarterback. Pin your ears back, and it's got to be a blowout. This can't, like, all this 4-game losing streak that we've been going through. Enough is enough, man. Like, unleash hell. Like, I want a week from now, heading against the Texans at 3-5. Make us a believer again. Because as of right now, everyone's deflated. Every Jet fan is looking at this. And even if you bring it up, there's a possibility. We're really not out of it. Look at the statistics. The percentages are, we might make playoffs, or we have one of the easiest schedules out there. But I don't see it. It's not a team. It's not a team. Win on Sunday. And I think if we win next Sunday, and by, I don't know how, we beat the Houston Texans and we're at 4-5, they got us. They got us back. There's no other way to put it. 4-5 heading into the Colts game. And is the Colts game here at home or away?
I think it's home, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll check right now. Give me 1 second.
Because it's been a while that we haven't played the Colts here at MetLife.
Yeah, it's home. The 17th.
God, dude.
We come back from the Cardinals the week before that. I mean, Dan, you're right, brother. I mean,
right. That's the game that scares me the most.
It's because of Kyler Murray. It's freaking receiver. It's freaking quarterbacks that could run. That I'm on the same boat. But that's what I mean. You got Hassan Reddick in here. Look, people are right now are like pissed off about Hassan Reddick and him saying, I don't want to talk to the media and all that. I'll talk to them after the Patriots game. To me, when I see that, I'm like, he wants to have a big, impactful game, right? He wants to come in, but I got 3-4 sacks in this game. This is why I'm good. This is why you guys should pay me and all that. Prove it to us. Prove it to me. Prove it to me that you were worth
my question.
Waiting that long and doing the shenanigans that you did this whole season so far that you lost so much money.
Right.
I'm worried though, because you're not in football shape. He hasn't been really there. Right. Again, working out and being in football shape, right? Two completely different things.
Two totally different things.
But with that being said, in my humble opinion, I think he's in a way better position, even though he hasn't even played a snap. He's a tremendous upgrade over what we already have there with Clemens. Like
True.
immediately, even though he hasn't played 100%. It down, whatever the case, right there. So now that the defenses, the offensive, they know, Will McDonald's got 8 sacks. It's no fluke. We can't double team him anymore. So what are you going to have? Two backs behind you and blocking those two on the edges? That hinders the offense. To me, having Reddick there. Now, to your point, Armand, that you brought into the chat, you said that Quinnen has been double teamed, hence McDonald is getting his sacks. Now, if you continue to double team that dude right there in the middle, now Reddick is going to start feasting. This can change, fellas, but it only changes if we win the game. Not that in the game, Reddick has 3 sacks, McDonald has 2, interceptions galore, and then we lose. Like, I don't want that anymore. You guys don't want that either. We need to win this game. And it can't get, I'm sorry to say this, it can't get any easier. It's a toss-up right here. It's been 24 years, right? That
2000.
We haven't.
2000.
Oh, it's been that long since we have not swept the New England Patriots. Come on, man. Enough is enough. Do it.
And
Get
Dan,
to 3-5.
and I tell you this much, right? I want us to win this game, right? I want us to win this game by a lot, not no 3 points that we barely just got there and all that. Now, I say this to you guys, and I'm gonna put this and hear me out, right? I'm the coach. I'm preparing for the defense. Reddick hasn't played, right? Is Reddick gonna be there 100% of the time? No, right? Because they rotate and all that.
Yep.
I know that, right? We all know that. Okay, so when they put in Reddick, I know that I'm gonna have to put in extra, my either my running block, my running back or my tight end, and chip him because we're gonna be able to handle Will McDonald, Quentin Williams. We can still double team him because he doesn't have anybody else next to him. That's why I wanted more of a defensive tackle, a big fatty that could, you know what I mean, take that. So you can have that impact with Quinn and all. That's what I'm worried about. That honestly, like that's really worried. But I don't blame the defense, man. Like, and I've been saying it for the whole entire year. I don't blame the defense. It's our offense. Our offense is our problem. It's been our problem. I don't blame it on Aaron Rodgers.
And special teams.
Yeah, correct. Special teams and all that, right? They're not, the chemistry's not there. People are not. Why hasn't Aaron Rodgers thrown the ball right for more than 19 yards other than the Hail Mary? You know what I'm saying? Because throwing it over the top, you got to have time back there, right? He is the 4th most hit quarterback in the league right now. 10th most sacked quarterback in the league. But nobody's talking about this, right? The narrative is, oh, Aaron Rodgers he's washed. He's that. I don't care who you are. How did we used to get Brady off of his game? Because we smacked him and we would hit him, right? He didn't like that. How do you get Patrick Mahomes when he lost the Super Bowl out of his that? They kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, right?
And a compromised offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. So like this narrative that Dan, that's why I'm with you in regards that of the whole Aaron Rodgers is washed and he's this and he's not that, because we never asked him to be Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay when he won MVPs and when he's done all this stuff like that. We just wanted a quarterback that was competent enough to run the offense, that could literally say, check, and get it into something else. Or, hey, Brees, you need to stand right over here because they're blitzing from this side, right? Go really quick, chip TJ Watt coming out, and I'm going to toss you the ball real fast and gash them for 60 yards. If they're going to give that to me, but you need to finish the plays. That's the piece that I'm also with you, Dan. He needs to finish those plays. It's a lot easier than said, but he needs to finish them.
He does. Again, you look at the Denver game. You look at the Minnesota game. It didn't have to end with everything on Rodgers' shoulders. It didn't. The game was there for us to take the lead. Even Buffalo, this same thing. Garrett drops a touchdown against Buffalo. I don't care if he got smacked. You make those plays. Greg Zuerlein. Now all of a sudden, he got the yips. Every player that plays for the Jets gets the yips. Zach Wilson can't throw a ball. I got the yips. I'm a Jet fan. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens. Like enough is enough, man. Look, and I don't even know this. I don't even know if is AVT injured. Like what happened to Xavier Newman? Is he okay?
He's on the injured reserve. He's out for 4 games already. AVT was not in practice today with the ankle. He has an ankle injury and all that, but he should be good for the game. Dan, look, man, I think a lot of this stuff that has in this conversation needs to be talked about.
Right.
Okay. Brees Hall has fumbled a lot this year, something that he's never really done like that. Right. And he's fumbled in a couple of games. Okay.
Right.
I think the reason he's running towards the end, because if the ball comes out, right, it'll go out of bounds, because he's done that before in a play that the ball has gone out of bounds on him, that they've tried to strip the ball off of him and stuff like that. Is that because I honestly believe, right, that these guys are playing so tense because they want to be so perfect for Aaron Rodgers, right, that they're not playing their game,
right,
and all that, and that's up here, man, because they've lost for so long. You want to make, your Hall of Fame quarterback look great and all that, and get that narrative that he's washed and whatnot. So that's why you get a ball that hits you in the chest. That's the first thing you're taught, man, as a receiver. You catch with your hands. You don't catch with your chest. That's that's Pee-wee football 101, man.
Completely. And not for nothing, before we go to this comment here, number one, thank you all for listening and watching right here. If you haven't done so already, it'll help us a million. If you hit the subscription, it just helps us just allowing our channel to grow. Now with this here, this to me is the nail in the coffin for this season. At this point, guys, you blow this up. You blow it up. If you can't sweep the Pats, as vulnerable as they are, and you start the first 8 games of the season 2-6 and splitting with the Pats, this has failed immensely. That's it. Because you could still salvage something right now. You're 2-5. I'm not saying that it can turn into like the 2002 Jets when we started off at 2-5. I just hope something sparks. That would be great. That's why I can't say, that's it. Season's over. We suck. 2-5. It's over. Win the game. Win the game. Get to 3-5. One game at a time approach. And then next Thursday, we'll see what we have. We'll see. Yes. I wish, Wild Wave. I wish. I wish he would look in the mirror and say, yeah, but the thing is, then he would put Chris Johnson in there. And I think that's way worse.
Let me say this, right? And Armand, because well, let me ask this, Dan, are you a Met fan?
I don't follow baseball that much, but if I had to choose, I would go with the Mets. That's nothing against the Yankees. Like the Yankees are in the what is it, the World Series? I'll go for them, no worries. Like the Brooklyn Nets, if they're in there, I'll root for them. I'm a big Nick fan.
Not me.
The Rangers, if the Islanders are there, all right, I'll go for the Islanders. If the Giants are in the Super Bowl, no way in hell. I went for the Pats. I went for New England.
We had that argument, Dan. Remember?
Never in my life would I ever go for the Giants. I'd rather get ridiculed by fans that are 300 miles north than my next door neighbor who's a Giant fan.
And see, so the reason I asked this, right? I had a conversation with an individual the other day in regards about the ownership, right? So Uncle Steve came up, right? And we said, hey, what about him? Right? He has it. He got the money to do it, right? He's worth over $20 billion more than what the Johnsons are worth.
$21 billion is his net worth.
Right? So, okay. So I said, yes. And they're like, really? Like that quick? I was like, you know why? Because Cohen showed to me that I'm going to hire this guy and I'm going to go like this. Right. And I'm not going to try to be getting involved. And you saw what happened and you're seeing what's occurring right now. I hope that something that could happen to us. Woody just needs to just let the guys do the stuff. You got a good GM that knows what he's doing. Let him rock. Don't get into it and stuff like that because you see on X or you see on whatever that they're doing this. Why is my guy Woody rocking this giant Woody chain in all in white with some all white Air Forces that look like freaking clown shoes? Who is dressing this guy and is telling them, you know what I want my owner to be in? In a 3-piece suit with a fat Windsor knot of a tie up there looking like fresh money when I see him. Not a freaking one of my tios getting ready to dance some bachata, right? And we're in Santo Domingo right now and whatnot.
Be doing that when the Jets win the Super Bowl. Because that's
what he looked like, man. That's what he looked like to me when I saw that coming there. I'm like,
But
I'm like, who's telling him, like,
but
dude, do this?
he relishes that. That's the thing. When the Jets were on Hard Knocks the second time, he loved every minute of it. He likes to be in the spotlight. He likes to be on
He
the back
wants to be
pages.
Jerry Jones, like I
He
said
wants
last week.
He loves it. If you look at it, we lost Monday night against the Bills. The next day, the Devontae trade happened. Then this whole thing happened, this and that, the hype, and then all of a sudden, the Hassan Reddick rumors started picking up. He loves that. And that's the problem with Woody Johnson. I love that he spends, but he puts his fingers into everything. And to your point, Johnny, you want an owner like Steve Cohen where, all right, here it is. Do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. And I think the guy from the Knicks, Dolan learned that. He gave to the GM over there. Oh, what's his name again?
Leon Rose.
Rose took care of everything.
But
there's no meddling. Rose took care of absolute everything.
Took a while. He started with the Rangers because he used to meddle in both. Then he said, I'm going to get out of hockey, let the hockey people run the Rangers, let them do it. And he still meddled with the Knicks because that was his number one. The Knicks are his number one, between them and the Rangers. But then he realized after so many years, I got to do the same thing with the Knicks like I did with the Rangers. Get the right people in, and let them do their job and stay out of it.
Look, and Dan and Armand, I have to keep hope and faith that the season is not over, because it's really not, right? I understand that we're in a position where we're with an interim coach that's supposedly never done it, right? To get us to there. Well, why not us be the team that can break that, right? We have the talent. We need players to step up. And it's what Dan has been saying from the very beginning. We need Quinnen to be that fiery Quinnen Williams when he's cursing people and getting his. Where is Middleton? I have yet to see Middleton since last year or the year before that. Middleton was on there fiery, pissed off and all that. We don't see him, right? Our tight ends were somewhat okay, and they've been looking like straight dookie.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have the people in place. It's just that what are we doing? It's the whole stank from Salah that it's hey, Armand, you know what? It's okay, bro. Don't worry. Right. We'll get him next year, man. It's okay, dude. You're right, brother. Just, I'm not gonna call you a sucker ass dude to your face, but in closed doors when I'm with everybody else, like, bro, our team sucks ass, man, and all that. That's what Salah was doing, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not want to say it or anything, but he didn't want Zach
called them
Wilson.
out privately. He would call them out privately. He didn't want to do it publicly. And, you could see that, but I think as a coach, you have to be who you are. And if, I think the next head coach that comes in here has to build a relationship with the players that are here and say, hey, look, if I'm going to call you out privately, I'm going to call you out publicly.
Well, maybe not just
private, I would say publicly.
Maybe not just singling out the individual, right, and saying our offense sucks. The entire offense is straight trash right now. We need to do better.
Now, with that being said,
call out the unit. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yes, but I think we're pressing the fast forward button way too soon right now. We're at 2-5. Let's make a comparison right here. The last time we were 2-5 and not only made the playoffs, but we won the division. That was in 2002. Let's bring it up. It's right here. All right, it's opened up. So first game of the season, we all remember, right? Chad Morton, 2 touchdowns, punt returns, the last one in overtime. The following game, again, who was the quarterback? It was Vinny. Vinny started. The following week, that shit sucked. Again, bad memory.
Bury the ball.
Wait, no, that one was, we should have.
We should have buried the ball on that one.
That's the one where Vinny threw to Victor Green, who started playing for the Pats and ran it for a touchdown. Following week, Ricky Williams just enjoyed himself. He had a day at Miami. And again, the following week, Jacksonville. At that point, we were, 1-3. 1-3, man. We sucked. There was no life in that team. Like, let's go back to the ones that remember that. There was nothing there. Nothing. Absolutely. There were players. Again, Herman tried to build a certain culture, but starting off at 1-3. And then the switch was made. Remember? Pennington got his start against Kansas City. I remember, you guys remember that bomb, right? To Santana Moss down the right side right before the halftime. But we lost the game, but there was something special there. At that point, we were 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games lost. We're 1-4. The following week, we played against Minnesota, and we started seeing that connection, Pennington to Coles. Nice. 2-4. Vamos, carajo. We're there. We're there, man. 2-4. We're good. We played against Tim Couch's Browns. I remember that as if it was yesterday. We had that game won.
Sucks.
And then Tim Couch gets the ball. I think it was a 2-point conversion or something like that. We had him sacked. He flings it into the end zone. Touchdown. We start the game. We start the season at the same juncture that we're at right now. 2-5. It's over. It's done. There's no way you can come back from this. That's where Herman Edwards, a guy that took the bull by the horns, a coach, a straight up legit head coach. He looked at the reporter. See, you guys have anything left? Like, the season's over. You don't come back from 2-5. Johnny and Armand, what did Herman Edwards say to that reporter?
Hello, you play to win the game.
The following week, we played against a stud-packed San Diego Charger team. They had their powder blues and whatnot. And Chad Pennington just tore him a new asshole. 44-13. We started winning. Miami, 13-10. Detroit. That's where Santana Moss had a touchdown. Lavernius had a touchdown. Crabette had a touchdown. We started rolling, dude. Buffalo, we swept them. The Raiders, we lost that one. The Broncos, we won it. This one I'll never forget. Chicago, we played at the University of Illinois. I'm like, man, we got to win this one because the error of margin to make the playoffs, it's small. It's chiquitito. We lost. Man, that one hurt. The following week, we played against Tom Brady, and it was a Sunday night game. We won the game. But leading up to that Green Bay Packer game, I remember reading in the New York Post, and it said, the New England Patriots have to beat the Dolphins and a whole bunch of like the Steelers and all this, this litany list of things had to happen. And at the bottom it said, yep. And at the bottom it said, and Superman has to fly over New York City. Yo, you remember watching the Patriots come back and beat the Dolphins and how crazy Giant Stadium was for that Green Bay Packer game? The players felt it. That's what I'm saying. If you can hit your stride, this team has what it takes. It has it.
We were the 4:00 game that day, and they were 1:00.
Yes. Yeah. We were the 4:00. I had no voice for 3 days because I felt so prideful to be a Jet fan. Anything could happen, boys. Anything. And I hate to talk about things like this, but it's true. It's been done before. We don't have a slapdick team. We don't have that. We have a legit quarterback. Games that we lost, we should have won. And the games were there. Now we're going into Foxborough. Yo, enough is enough. Win the game, 3-5 next Thursday night. 3-5 heading against the Texans. Why not us, Johnny? Why not us?
Dan, I've been saying it, man. Like, I look, Monday, Sunday, pissed off. Monday, stupid, upset, and all that. But I had a dream. Legit, bro. Like I had a dream. I said, holy crap, we're gonna go on a run. Like it's going to happen. We're gonna go on a run, right? And it's funny how you say the post said, and we need Superman to fly over New York because that's what Devontae did. Superman to make that tackle. It's one of those again, man. Like we're not out of it. We're frustrated. We're pissed off. We have, every right to be mad right now and all that. But you got to believe. I mean, we're Met fans, Armand. We gotta believe. You know that, man. If that is one of the most truest thing, you gotta believe, man. Because I mean, look at all this Mets crap that I have. I mean, Jets crap that I have back here. I got messed up there too and all that. I mean, look at Dan, right? All over there and everything like that. You too over there, Armand and whatnot. It's again, we made a bet that we said, right? Yep. If we win, we're all rocking the same stuff like that.
Same thing. I have it right there.
I have it hanging up inside of my closet right now. Just so I could come back onto the show. I have it in
my drawer right now next to me.
Just to wear it. Right here. My hat is like on the hanger of itself and all that. Because I believe in the whole being superstitious stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Dan, you're right, brother. Like it's not over yet. And even if we lose, it's still not over. There's a possibility that we can. Is it going to be hard and tough?
Oh, it's over if we lose. It's over if we lose.
I mean, I yes and all that, but mathematically, we still can essentially, right? It's what Dan was saying a little bit earlier, because that Illinois game in Chicago that we should have won and all that hurt us.
Yes,
but stuff still broke for us and everything. We might not never get the plays during the actual game where the ball bounces off dude's head like 3 times and he catches the ball. It was nuts, man. I'm like, is this really happening? Like, is this dude can't bat this ball down and it falls right into his arm and all that? But other stuff will break for us, man. And then we're in it. We were one catch away from stupid Braxton Berrios catching that pass in Minnesota, and we would have been there, and we would not be talking about this damn curse that we have and all the stuff that's going on. It's just, you got to believe. And I got to keep saying that, bro. Damn it, Dan, I'm hyped up, man. I'm ready for Sunday.
So am I. That segues to me. Like, come on, man. Even the lowest of lows Jet fanatic right now, even the Joe and Clarks, even the ones that are the Joe Beningos, the ones, same old Jets. Deep down inside, they want to have that feel all over again. All right, we're going into this game. It matters. We win. We can make something magical happen. I want to be able to freaking yell a touchdown, man, again. But like, not just, touchdown, nice. Nah, from the bowels of my freaking intestines.
You want to feel it in your plums. You want to feel it all the way down to your plums, Dan.
Yeah, the nads.
We need a signature touchdown from Rodgers.
Right.
Whether it's to Devontae,
we had it
to Garrett, to somebody.
I want the hairs of my epididymis to stand up. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like, yo, we're back, man. Like, let's go. Like, again.
That Hail Mary.
I yelled that one. I yelled. I was like,
I was so like, I was like, this is the play. This is what changes it over for me.
And I get it. ML doubles 007. I get it.
From the offensive standpoint, we need that from the defense. We need that signature stop. Would we love it to be a turnover, whether it's a fumble recovery, whether it's an interception, maybe it's a pick six. It's just something. Maybe it's a sack. Maybe it's like a 3rd and 4. And whether it's Reddick, McDonald, Quinnen, somebody on the defensive line. Maybe it's Kinlaw. He finally shows up and plays. You know, I think
Armand,
that's also hurt. I think that's hurt Quinn too. Is outside of McDonald, the talent from the other defensive line unit is not as good as it was last year. Kinlaw's not as good as we thought he was. He was brought in because he knows the system. He was coached under Saleh before Saleh got here.
Yeah, but they're still doing what they need to do. The defense is still keeping the Jets in games. You know, and not only that, all we need is to get rolling. And it becomes very contagious when you start to win. You feel it in that locker room. You don't want to lose it. You know what it is already to be suckers, like asswipes of the league. We know it. He missed field goals. He's throwing interceptions. Hit him off his chest. They feel dejected, like, yo, this sucks. We're better than this. They win Sunday. There's a locker room speech, whatever the case is. Hopefully it's behind closed doors. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see nothing. Just keep it in-house. Just like everyone from the outside is destroying you, ripping you a new one, keep it in-house. It's us against the world. Go into Houston, here at home, obviously, 3-5. 3-5. Pull it off. 4-5. And all of these. And I get this comment. I get it. And as of right now, you're 100% right. As of 2002, at 2-5, this comment stood true until the Jets started winning. It only takes one game. Well, how can you compare? What did we have anything to compare in 2002 at 2-5? We had nothing to compare. The season was over. Things started happening. You start winning. Win the game. That's how you change a culture. Immediately, you win the game. Start making your field goals. If you don't make them and you still win, start calling Tennessee and see what you can get for Nick Folk. Go for it. And yeah, JD, I think we all feel it. We feel it because I think Aaron Rodgers, as much as a lot of people, Brett Favre was better than Aaron Rodgers. There's one thing that's different between Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers actually, believe it or not, wants to play here.
Yeah.
Brett Favre did not.
Correct.
This was just like a segue, like something where, all right, you know what? I need to take the Q8, but I have to do a transfer over here with this other bus.
Dan, do you remember what the contract was with that he had put in there, right? For him to become a Jet? He had to put something in there where he could go hunting. And if he couldn't go hunting, right, he wasn't going to come over here. Because he didn't want to come over here. Something like off the wall. Dan, brother, you are completely right, bro. Look, Armand, I get the point of like with the defense and them scoring 7 and all that, but we've been asking for the defense to do that for us because our offense has been so trash for so long. I want my defense to stop the other team and do what our defense already has been doing. Okay.
Yes.
I want our offense.
How about we start the game with a blitz like we did last year with Miami when Sauce blitzed?
Let's do it.
But I want the
Skylar
offense.
Thompson.
I want the offense to come in. We win the flip of the coin. We receive it. Aaron Rodgers throws a bomb and it's a touchdown. And we're like, oh snap. Here it is. Here's that bomb to San Antonio Holmes or Santana Moss. I'm sorry, right? That we were talking about a little bit earlier, right? This is it. Let's get Aaron Rodgers needs a win.
Yep.
That offensive line, they need a win. The offense needs a win, guys. They are so deflated right now, and you see it. Watching freaking Garrett Wilson's like post news conference or whatever the hell you call it and everything, I thought he was gonna cry. He looked so like I'm just so like upset at myself, as you should have been,
right?
Because you shouldn't have dropped that ball and everything like that. But the guy, he's a perfectionist. He wants to perfect everything that he does, and he knows he messed that up. He's his biggest critique. guys, and I want that as a wide receiver and all that. You should be that. You should be the guy when it's freaking 4th and 5, right? The game's on the line, and we need you to be the one that we all know that that's the guy that the ball is going to go to because he's going to catch it and all that. As of right now, he hasn't shown that. Multiple times that he's dropped the ball to where he should have been having a touchdown and everything. But he still has the second most attempts in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is that telling you? Is there, man?
It is there. And that's why, to me, you have to keep it in-house, especially if you win against New England, because the storyline of the week leading up to the Texas game is, oh, yeah, but the Jets only beat crap teams. I wish, the Jets played against the Patriots every week. That's going to be the narrative. Oh, you suck. The Jets suck. They don't beat anybody. That's it. That's it. So they lose. It's Aaron Rodgers' fault, Garrett, this and that. They win, and they get discredited. I don't care. Win the effing game. Keep it in the locker room. The backs are against the wall right now. Everyone's seat in that locker room, at the front office, even the interim head coach, it's hot. They can't sit down. It's hot. New York brings a different kind of temperature to every player, coach, owner. Like, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Having someone like Woody Johnson, he's been here for over 24 years or whatnot. He knows shit. This media is harsh. Maybe he needed to go to England and be the ambassador just to get away.
Go back
from the media. Go back. But with that being said, if you can win in New York, there is no other city. None. I said it before the season started. If Rodgers somehow makes this happen, he'll be immortal. He'll be immortalized here. Much more than Mark Messier.
Oh,
and I love the Rangers. But Mark Messier would take a back seat because he was brought to the Rangers to win them a Stanley Cup and to kill you want to talk about cursed, Johnny? You want to talk about a franchise that was cursed? Like, they were comparing the New York Rangers to the curse of the Bambino. Like that bad. Yeah. They sucked. They're never going to win this. And then they did it. And the Red Sox too. Red Sox is another team that they were never going to win a championship ever. And then
04 happens.
Boston in general.
A bunch of idiots.
But they won.
I mean, Dan, you're completely right. He wins it over here. He could murder somebody, right? And there'll be a fall guy that'll take the hit for him because of that. A perfect example, Derek Jeter, right? And I always talk about this, and nobody ever talks about. Now, I'm not here calling Aaron Rodgers a murderer. Please don't start this crazy narrative. I'm not going on the afterburners to say, I think freaking Aaron Rodgers is a murderer. Please do not think that, okay? That is not what I'm saying, okay?
Right.
All right. But Derek Jeter, right? Derek Jeter is a beloved New Yorker. He's a New Yorker for the rest of his life and all that, right? He had got involved where he was spreading something amongst the Hollywoods of the Hollywood people like crazy, right? And they put that stuff in the Newsday, like in the middle where the the dead people section and stuff is like that, because they didn't want him to get a bad rep or anything like that because of, he's the baby face essentially of the Yankees and stuff like that. Things like that will happen to Aaron, if that occurs. And look, everybody says about Aaron and the way he handles stuff and all that. For me and what he said, right, the first thing is stop listening to you people, right? To me, I took that as a shot to Woody Johnson. Because what have we been talking about this entire night? Is Woody Johnson listens to everybody else. He meddles in so much stuff because he wants to be Mr. Cool Guy and all that stuff like that, right? Aaron goes out without having to say it, because we know that Aaron Rodgers, when he says something, right? There's a lot of more complex meaning to what he's saying. Stop listening to all you guys. That's a shot to Woody Johnson. Stop going on X. Stop wearing white after Labor Day. All white, I mean, okay? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, stop wearing this hideous chain and, getting stuff. No, we need leaders. We need to be better. Let's stop coming in flat. That's to you, Ulbrich, right? Plan it better for us and all that. We love you. We have your back, but we need to do better. We need to go on this run and everything. Dan, you're completely right. Send them back to England if this is the biggest issue and all that. Let him be the ambassador all over again and do what he needs to go ahead and do. This team is too talented to lose and stuff like that. We're being compared right now to the Eagles' dream team. I don't want that.
Yep. You know it. Yeah, that was a harsh criticism, but it was true. I remember that team vividly with Nnamdi Asomugha, Vince Young, and it was just a powerhouse team, but they were just players on Madden brought together. There was no unity. There was no chemistry on there. But with this team, you can tell that they care for one another. You see it. They're like, yo, man, we're being ridiculed, man. This is beyond what we signed up here for. It's not for that. We're 2-5. We can turn this ship around. We could do this. Yo, again, you win against New England. You come home. And as negative as us Jet fans might be, that game next Thursday night, that is going to be sold out.
Yeah,
sold
easy.
out. There's going to be a lot of fans there. And Woody's going to love it. But the hell with Woody. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers said it to Woody. Get out of the way, man. You brought us here. Let us work. Stop micromanaging us. Enough is enough. Let us do what we need to do. That's why I think, like, I don't want to get ahead of myself and say, we're beating New England. We're beating them. Dude, I can't wait for that game because I think we're thirsty, bro. We're all thirsty for a win, man. We just want to look at the screen, say, all right, they got something going. They got something going. The chemistry it's clicking. All right. First down, Garrett, Devontae for 15, Brees for 20. Here comes Braylon Allen, rips 12 yards, touchdown. All right, 7-0. Here comes, a sack, Hassan Reddick. Drake May. Oh, he's a rookie. Well, you only beat shit teams. I don't care. Keep winning. Keep pounding them. Destroy them. Win the game. You know what? I hear you, but you need this. You need Devontae. This is what we needed. We needed an objective view.
Yeah.
An objective view, someone from outside has been here 5 days or whatever the case is and said, look, this is not supposed to happen here. There's something special here. Let's right this ship. Let's win the game. And it starts on Sunday. We could easily change the trajectory of this season. Just win the game, man. I think everyone leading up to the Texans game, our narrative starts changing a little bit. The tune starts changing, the volume. It's like, all right, you know what? Maybe if we pull this one out, and forget it if we get to 4-5. Forget it if we get to 4-5.
Dan, and you're right, man. Like, and after I understand what you're saying, and but to me, I look at it like this, right? If that's something that affected you so well, first and foremost, you're a professional, okay? And if you took that and you're like, oh, how can he talk about this? And all, then you're part of the problem, right? And if that's the case, because look, nobody's really come out and said anything. Aaron Rodgers came out and said this was probably one of the best speeches I ever heard. Sauce, Brees, Garrett, they all hang out together. They all come from smaller areas and all that. They're not used to the big lights in New York. The New York, right, area is a beast in itself. Not everybody can make it here, okay? These guys are not used to it. These guys all come from programs where they've won, and they've won. All they've ever known is win, 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 and they come to here, and it's like one thing after another. Sauce Gardner, he's having a good year, but you can't get a freaking interception, right? You can't get this. You can't go. So that means you suck automatically. To me, right? I want my corner is what Sauce is doing, where he's covering and the guy's not getting yardage on him like that. That's what I want. I want him to shut him down and everything. You got Wilson, right? Look what he did with the crap that he had with us. And then you got Breece Hall. Nobody was expecting Breece Hall to be the way he was and everything. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Breece Hall, like this guy, he has it. He has that electric speed that, he could give you 70 yards and a touchdown. These guys got it. We have the talent is there. It's there, but there's no true leader that's there, right? We're missing a Bart Scott. We're missing a Jimmy Leonard. I mean, the Rex Ryan speeches that he was just talking just as of recently with the pivot when he was on Get Up in the morning and all that stuff like that. If that doesn't fire you up as a Jet fan and everything, or as a Jet player, you need to look yourself in the mirror and be like, maybe this is not for me and all that. I can't handle it. I need to give it to the next guy who's hungry and who wants it. Because there were some flashes in that game. The Green Goblin, right? Mills and all that. He showed something. Again, defense is not the issue, it's the offense, man. And just like what Dan was saying, 12 yards, 19 yards. We're getting there again. Finish in the red zone. We shouldn't continue to keep being 1-4 in the red zone. Finish the drives. Get it done. No more penalties. Show everybody that this team is. Tyron Smith is hearing right now that he's washed up. He's garbage. He's not what he used to be. Blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the game and really break it down in itself, this was one of his better games that he actually had. This last game where we had TJ Watt and Highsmith, right, was one of the games where Aaron Rodgers really wasn't hit that much. Was he hit? Yes, but not as much as he's been getting hit and all that, but we expect Tyron Smith to be Tyron Smith of the pro that he was, that when he makes one mistake or one thing and he looks foolish on it, right? It's New York media. This is not Dallas. This is not Texas. You got 20 billion other people are going to break that one play down.
Well, you see, great points, 100%. And as far as with the Devontae Adams, I'm going to bring up the 2009 schedule. 2009 schedule, we had, Mark Sanchez, young quarterback. But we traded for a wide receiver that brought something different to that locker room. And that was here. See here at Miami? Yeah, we lost that game. But it was Braylon Edwards' first game. The energy that he showed and that chemistry that he commenced with Sanchez. And that was part of that magical season as well. That's why I bring that up, because you have Devontae Adams standing up right after the game. And yeah, maybe he didn't have, 5 catches for $120. He didn't have none of that. But for him to stand up after the game, that might be that same spark. That same thing that we actually need on that team. And I get it. We might have some naysayers, why can't it be Quinnen? Why can't it be this one? You know how I look at it? We're getting a shot in the arm this week with Reddick. Another guy. He should have been here 7 weeks, but you know what? Better late than never. Maybe it's exactly what we need right now. With that, I'm going to bring on my man, Afram. Afram, what's going on, man?
You gotta believe, Afram. You gotta believe, baby. You gotta believe.
Rah.
Hi, Afram.
I don't know. You guys, I'm glad that you're very enthusiastic about this team, but when I see the lifelessness of that team last week, and how they just turned as soon as that interception happened, they just fell. Difference in 2009, 2010, we had a much better offensive line. That made a big difference. Younger and better in the run and in the pass. But
And a better coaching staff.
We'll see what happens. Huh? Or was that
And a
Armin?
better coaching staff.
Yeah, much better
coaching
coaching.
staff.
You know, you saw Moses handling Watt. Watt was not a factor in this game, right? So why wasn't there any support on Tyron's side? Okay, where was the support? Guy ran right around him, made him look like a fool. That shouldn't happen to a vet like him. He's a Pro Bowler. He's been to champions, so something's going on there. And like I said, no one's spoken out. You know, I think just Mosley has said, you know, yeah, there's guys here that they get the message, this and that. Well, we wait and see. We'll see how they come out on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see how they come out on Sunday. And they should, if they're the team they are, they should just run right through New England. If it's tight, to me, because you have 3 days left before you face Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's see how you handle a team with better defense. So
I couldn't agree more. That's why, right? Like you said, 4 days until you face Houston. That's why, to me, on paper, obviously you can't win on paper. They should run right through them and put like a 40 burger to the point where in the fourth quarter you start resting your guys, start resting, and then you start getting ready for Houston. But like you said, if it's a nail biter against a rookie quarterback that hasn't shown much, just little flashes here and there,
he should be seeing the ground all through the night.
Exactly. I mean, he should be seeing ghosts. Like, we have to flip this. You know, it's time to sweep them. We can't have them. And again, we have players on this team like Rodgers, number one. He has no idea what the history of the Jets is with what the Patriots have, you know, what we've been through with them. He shouldn't even care.
He knows what we've been through. He knows that we lost this much. He knows all that. I mean, he wasn't part of it.
He's an historian. He's talked about how he knows the history of the NFL.
Yeah, he knows what we've been through. He knows. He talks.
Right, but he wasn't affected. That's the thing. He wasn't affected. So that's why, to me,
he
has to bring that mentality and just win the game.
Absolutely right. He wasn't part of it, but
yeah, just win the game.
Still, and it's not the same anymore.
It's not.
It's not the same anymore. Belichick's gone. Brady's gone. All the rest of the cheaters are gone. So
all of them. They're back to the Hugh Millen days.
You know.
Look, I wish we could cheat like them and win.
We won't even do that right.
Look, they need a win. The offense. I
agree.
The offense needs a win. We need that confidence back in Aaron. We need that confidence back in Tyron and all that. Afram, you're completely right. He shouldn't have made to look like a fool in that one play when Highsmith just literally you know, his hands are out like this instead of being inwards, right? His head is down, not upwards and all that. Where as a lineman, you're taught that, right? You're like this, you're going to be controlled really quickly. They're going to swim move you, go right around you. And it's exactly what occurred and all that. That stuff is taught at a very young age. Anybody that's played ball knows these things and all that. That's the frustrating aspect of it and all that. And I saw that and I was like, why is this happening? Why is it
we
occurring?
emphasize it more in this past game.
Correct.
But what have you seen in the previous games? Have this team shown you any resiliency the past games before that? Do they look like a team in the previous games before the Pittsburgh? Did they look solid? Did they look like they would come to play?
I mean,
were you confident in their play?
No.
So now
because of the coaching.
So what's going on in this locker room that these guys are coming out like this flat?
It's, again, I have to say it. I think it's the mentality that's been put in with the culture piece of it, that we're the same old Jets, the same old crap again, right? We're going back to, you know, we had Aaron Rodgers. We thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be our savior. He was going to save us, right? Where that was never supposed to be the narrative. The narrative was we're supposed to have these 2 stud running backs that are going to be destroying it, right? And then you're going to have Aaron Rodgers that's not going to turn the ball over. and that's not what's been happening. He's throwing the ball almost 35 attempts a game, right? That is not sustainable ball right now for us, at least, in what we have. So, Afram, you're completely right in regards to I haven't seen it. You're right, because but the thing is, there's moments that you see it and we're like, oh man, it's again, but then we're having now issues in places where we didn't have issues before. Okay, the kicker. Everybody wanted to sign freaking Greg the Leg for 20 years. People were chanting MVP, MVP, and now this dude is hitting dinkers off of the damn post itself right now. It's demoralizing.
As Jet fans, we don't tolerate much. We want to,
we got to win now.
Yeah,
you got to. It's
he had
the New York media.
A bad game. He had a bad game.
He got beat out by
Grandpa
Seabird.
Needs to be put in a nursing home.
He got beat by Seabird, right? From everything that I've read, everything that people that were at the actual practices, right?
Should have been our kicker.
Seabird should have been the kicker and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. He's knocking it down with Washington.
Let me ask you this: should have had come down to field goals with this team, with this offense?
It should have never had that. But there's going to be times where field goals, when it was against a Minnesota. No, you're right. You're 100% right on that.
Yes and no. One second. I got to play devil's advocate here. They're getting to know each other. It's not like it's a well-run oiled machine for the past 5 years. It's one of those games where it was ugly. It was there for the taking, Afram. You should make those field goals and you win the game. Same thing with the Vikings. The exact same thing. That's why, to me, like this entire blame that we're running, to me, Aaron Rodgers has done enough in those games to have won the game. Enough. You have a perfect pass to Garrett Wilson against the Bills. He drops it. Oh, he got knocked out. He didn't get knocked out. You make those plays. You do it. You catch it. That's 7 points. Greg the Leg missed another 3. That same game. That's 10 points off the board. We were a much superior team than the Bills that night. We all know that. But because of these bonehead miscues, we lose the game. Is it Rodgers' fault? I don't think so. He's doing enough against, again.
I could blame the refs as well.
But no, the refs are a different thing. I hear what you're saying. But yeah, okay, with the Braylon Allen touchdown, that to me blew my mind. Number one, how
all the calls all night for both teams.
Well, the actual touchdown for Garrett Wilson. There's a referee right there, and he's like, nope, he didn't catch it. Then the eye in the sky is like, no, that's a touchdown. Then all of a sudden they hand off the ball to Brees, and a referee that's 10 yards away calls holding on Tyron Smith. Yes, you're right. That is a facet of the game that I did not like. But Rodgers did enough to win that game. The Vikings game, it didn't have to get to the point where he had the ball last to drive to win. Again, the kicker, the common denominator is this guy. He's a bum. And the coaching staff.
You drop a pass in the end zone.
I mean, let's say this, right? Why does nobody talk about the missed field goal, right? That Greg Zuerlein had against the Patriots? It's not talked about because winning is the biggest deodorant, right? That's out there. It masks the stench, the stink that comes from that. It's tough, man. Like, seeing Denver game, right? We were expecting a blowout because we thought this was the same Denver from last year and all that. But they're in the top 5 for defense this year. They're beating teams that they're not supposed to be beating right now and all that. Minnesota, right? That Minnesota game, it was a toss-up. We didn't know what Minnesota was going to be. Nobody thought Minnesota was going to be 4-0 with Sam Darnold at the helm and everything after Kirk Cousins got shipped away to Atlanta, right? I thought Justin Jefferson was going to have a shit year this year and all that because of that. Proved us all wrong. You got Aaron Jones, a running back that we should use, right? The way we should use what the hell is our running back's name right now?
Brees.
Freaking Brees Hall, right? Should be used like Aaron Jones was used in Green Bay. Is what we thought we were gonna have with that.
Yep.
We haven't seen it yet. We're starting just to see it. We're starting to see these wheel routes that he's running. We're starting to see these. Let me chip TJ Watt really quick, come off the line, catch the ball, and run it for 60 yards. Right? Let me hide in the back really quickly, shoot up right in the A gap real fast, turn around, catch the ball, run it again for another 40 yards. There's plays, man. There's things that are in the week that I'm seeing that I'm like, okay, things are starting to show and all that. Keep Aaron Rodgers upright. Keep him upright. And it goes back to what we were talking about with Tyron Smith. Is there something going on with him? I don't know. Possibility. You know, I want to see Aaron Rodgers pissed off on the sideline like Tom Brady used to be and all that. I want to see Quinnen Williams on the freaking sideline pissed off and cursing people out and things. We don't see it anymore. Everybody's like, okay.
I want to see this.
Exactly.
I want to see this again. I want to have that passion again, that thrill of being a Jet fan, saying, all right, it's us against the world. And not for nothing, isn't that how this organization functions? That's how we won Super Bowl III, no? No one gave us a shot. No one gave us a shot in this game right here that we're all watching. That one should have been a complete blowout based off of how they destroyed us on Monday night, the New England Patriots. We showed up that night. That's why, to me, at 2-5, which we've done it in the past, 2-5, we alluded to it earlier, things happen during a season. You hit a stride. And it all depends on when they can get together. Right on eye level. And I think it happens this Sunday. I have to be honest. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're wearing the jet green color goggles. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to watch this game on Sunday, hoping that we just blow them out. We win the game, go into against Houston 3-5. Look at the grit, man. This was such a great game. The AFC divisional game against Again, the Pats, they don't got this anymore. They don't have this. They don't have this. They don't have the Brady, the Belichick, just like you said, Afram. They don't.
We still won this one.
We definitely did win this one, man. And we should have beat the freaking Steelers the week after.
This the can't wait game, right? That's he gets them in at the end, and he's all like,
40. They
came out slow in the first half and against Pittsburgh, and we just ran out of time because we were just breaking.
But we were stupid though. We should have gone into the halftime without trying to be so aggressive, because that was the difference, right? It was Sanchez. Now look at this one. How I pointed right at Braylon Edwards, man. Bam. Oh, that was beautiful, man. And this one, what were you guys feeling watching this game live?
I was so hyped, man. I had my Mark Sanchez jersey on, dude. That jersey that he has right there, I had it on. Bro, I love this team. That's right there, my play when he goes just like that. Like, it's what needs to happen, man.
See the excitement on that team when that happened? You see the excitement?
And that's what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. You're right, Afro,
not just
man.
the excitement, the unity. The unity.
Exactly. That's what I mean, Armin.
There's no unity between this team.
Well, it depends, right? It depends if it shows up, if they finally lock arms. Because keep in mind, this one here, there was something that Rex used to do a lot. He would always bring either motivational speakers or ex-players. Do you guys remember who he brought here? That's a great jersey. I still have that jersey.
Look right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, man. This was when he raised up his arms, man. Santonio Holmes. But I remember.
Did he bring his dad for this one?
No, he brought Dennis Byrd. He brought Dennis Byrd to this one. Dennis Byrd, he gave a speech the night before. This was my favorite play. After how he just went to bed. He went to bed on this one. Oh man, that was awesome, dude. Dennis Byrd, man.
I
That's
talked
what I mean,
so
like,
much
and
crap
that's-
leading up to that game to people.
Oh,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what Afram is saying. I want to see this on the sidelines. I want to see our players. It's what Aaron Rodgers has said. It's what Devontae is saying and all that. When you got your damn running back break it out for almost 60 yards and all that, right? You should be tackling him and all that to the point where, like, bro, yo, chill, guys. You're celebrating too much and that. I don't want him to get hurt and all that, right? It's the players that should be like that. I put a lot of this, right, losing stuff that we've had. Is why I've asked the question multiple times. Is it the players or is it the coach, right? And I have to say it's the players, man.
right.
You know,
I mean,
a lot of this stuff is on the players.
The Jets have a
Oh,
choice
it's all
right
on
now.
the players. Well, the players on the players, but the coaching staff, are they doing what's, is anyone getting is accountable for anything? Are they upset with the coaching staff that certain things are not being done? They see things that, why aren't we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Yes.
Hackett's out of the picture, thank God. So now the offense started moving a little bit better.
Well, they have a choice to
I'm
make.
sure that had the first 3 games was because of Hackett, and there's no confidence in their coaching staff.
Dude.
And when the players think they know more, they know better than the coaching, right? What happens?
Yes, that's it's a problem because then the inmates run the asylum, right? Unless you have this guy. If you have this guy, the inmates can do whatever the hell they want. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Now,
But that
with that
hat
being
is
said,
so sweet. He has on.
oh,
though,
it's the
man.
best.
That
With
hat
that,
is so sweet.
we're gonna bring up Barney. Barney, what's up, man?
I think I got the same hat. Wait, put up coat tight again. I have 3 hats, and I was almost gonna grab the new one. I was like, no, because you guys are playing the New England game. I was like, gotta go. And for last, what is it, 2 weeks ago when they had even though they lost.
Here he is.
Where is it? Oh no! Oh, he's got that 8. That's right. He's got that one's actually pretty nice.
I think I have
That's
his
pretty
backdrop.
fire, as the kids would say.
That's
Yes.
fuego.
That's what he got after 2 seasons. He got fuego.
But who would you say is worse, Coach? Because I'm old enough to remember Coat Tight, and
Yeah.
they were like flying planes like above the stadium to fire him. But who do you think was worse, him or Gase? I almost think he was worse.
No,
Coat tight, man. Coat tight, easy.
Coat tight.
But Coat Tight won 4 games, right, in that last year, and Gase only won 2.
3. He won 3 games. Oh, 4. He won 4 games in total.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
In 2 years?
Yes, that's the best.
Oh, so 1 year was only 1 game?
He won
Yeah.
one. He won 1 in
His last
15.
year was 1 and 4-15.
Okay, all right. I guess that's where I didn't realize. For some reason, I thought it was 4.
That's
Barney.
what he played Glenn Foley.
Yeah, I remember Glenn Foley.
Hey, Barney,
great.
you know why Gase wins? Because of the intro conference he had with his eyes. He would
Yeah,
always
Google
be coat tight
eyes.
because of that, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see
Coach,
the
I also
introductory
think we all knew
on
why
Coat
it's
Tight?
Gase for me is we all knew we were not going to win with him. We wouldn't,
I knew for a fact that we weren't going to win with Coat Tight. Like I knew right. The thing is, Leon has tried to recreate what the Jets had in the 80s because Coat Tight was the offensive coordinator, right?
Right. And Coach Tight, it was the same as Joe Walton, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: everyone's like, "Oh, we got to stop having a defensive coordinator." But think of our offensive coordinators: Joe Walton, Coach Tight, Gase. We have not been doing that well with offensive coaches.
Bruce Coslett.
Coslett, yeah, he had a couple have good seasons.
The difference between Kotite and Gase, Hess made the call right away. This was the man he wanted, right?
Right.
Gase was the bottom of the pile. There was nobody coming here.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming for interview, and they didn't sign up. Okay.
Yeah.
He had no choice but to. Chris Johnson made that call because he had to call. He called Peyton Manning. He said, "Oh yeah, he's a great coach."
Here's the other thing. Like, I'm sick of Manning and who's the guy from the Cowboys? The quarterback.
Jerry Jones.
No, the quarterback. The old,
Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Oh, Aikman.
No,
Aikman.
Romo. Romo. Steve Young and Manning had all said Darnold's going to be great, and now he finally is, and that Zach was going to be great. It's like, you motherfuckers, you're all in the Hall of Fame. Shut the fuck up about the Jets. Pardon my language. It's like, I'm tired of I think a lot of these Hall of Famers are like saying BS to excite the Jet fan base because they hate the Jets. But that's just my theory.
I mean, it could be possible. It's just that.
Well, you could see Zach has the arm strength. He just doesn't. He's the $1 million arm, but the 10-cent head.
But Romo and Peyton Manning, like those guys are. It's all about the head. Like what? Here's the thing.
In the NFL,
all the quarterbacks,
more about
all the quarterbacks from that year, with the exception of Tarzan down in Jacksonville, are all like. I mean, who's starting? They're all backups now, right?
You mean Jane?
Yeah, Tarzan Jane.
Right.
But who is it? It's him.
Fields.
Trey
Lance.
Zach. Trey Lance. Is Trey Lance anywhere? Or is he out of the?
He's the Cowboys.
Back.
He's
Yeah,
a
back
Cowboys
up.
backup?
Dak.
And Mac Jones.
Where's Mac Jones now?
He's with Jane.
Oh, he's back.
He's the
He's
backup
backing
in-
up the Jaguars.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Hey,
was
can
the
I-
Peterson call.
Can I ask you guys something real quick?
Yeah.
Right. And I think Barney was kind of started to talk about it in the actual chat itself, right? Rex, right? Rex has been back in the media right now, talking in regards to him being on the pivot, him being on, Get Up, him being on with Barn and Han in the morning and all that.
He's lobbying for that job. I think he
and all
is.
that. Now,
think
I
he
want
is.
to ask you guys this. Do we bring him back?
Nope. His problem
Why?
was he always drafted defensive players. We always drafted defensive players with him.
Don't make him general manager. Get a strong general manager to knock that out of him.
Mine is a twofold
Rex is
answer.
never going to get another head coaching job.
No,
It's
well,
going to fail again. He failed in Buffalo after he left us.
yeah, but he went to Buffalo to just for spite. He did that.
Yeah.
That's all he did. But no, with
He-
Rex,
yeah.
I would go with Rex for next year as a 1-year deal, just to have the defense.
He's not going to take that. He's not going to take that.
Not a defensive coordinator. No. All I'm saying.
No, he's not going to take that as a head coach. He's not going to take a 1-year deal. You nuts?
No, not a one. Obviously, you're not going to tell him it's for a 1-year deal, but you take him in there, he'll finally have his quarterback.
That's stupid.
Oh no, I
That's
see what you're
dumb.
saying. No,
Who's your
it's
GM?
not stupid. It's
what
not
you're
stupid.
saying is instead of tearing it down and selling off all our draft picks, what you're
Right.
saying is bring him like, all right,
Just
we need a
delaying
coach,
the
right?
inevitable.
What you're saying, what you're saying is maybe get like some offensive coordinators, some whiz mind who can deal with Rodgers. Bring Rex in just as sort of the figurehead for Rodgers last year. Then if it
That's
works,
it.
great. If not, then
Done.
you tear it down. Right?
Over. He's not going to ask for anything guaranteed.
Here's
He's
your
not going to ask
problem.
for anything.
Rex is not going to do that.
Here's your
I
problem.
don't think he'll do it.
And
If
then
you
there'll
have
be
us.
more circus with that situation than they are now.
He'll coach for free as long as we give him
Who's
mad
coming here?
tattoos.
Yeah, if you want Rex next year, that's most likely because the current head coach didn't do a good job, right?
Right.
Well,
So-
he's interim. He's not staying no matter
Well,
what. I
still,
like him.
not only- if he wins, he I'm sure he'll keep the job because he's cheap.
Oh,
That's Woody's motto: don't pay.
Yeah,
And-
he doesn't
and-
pay. That's
right.
That's true.
So who's coming here
you
if they have a losing season?
The reason I hopped on here actually was because you guys were talking about that Dennis Bird thing. I don't know if you remember the story. So Dennis Bird, right? He's injured. I think he passed away, right? But he was like paraplegic, right? I don't think it was like I remember that horrible play where but he came in a wheelchair and gave a speech to them and said, even with all that happened to me, I would give my life. He said, I'm somebody look it up, but he said something like, I would give my life for one more play. And that whole game, everybody played like that. Braylon Edwards, Braylon Edwards, like, I remember watching that game going, they are on fire. There's something inspired. And I think it was that talk that he gave.
It was that talk. Yeah, because I remember Dennis Byrd, he actually walked. He walked with a cane.
I thought he was still in a wheelchair. Okay.
So, yeah, no. He went to the locker room. I think it was the night before.
The night before, that's what I read. Yeah.
And when they went for the coin toss, they had his jersey. I forgot which two players had.
They carried it out. They carried it out.
Yeah, it was like right there. I got to be honest. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, as every Jet fan, I know how I am. Every game I go to watch, they're winning. They're going to win. You can't take it. You can't take it out of me. Like, they're gonna win. They're 1-14. They're gonna play against the eventual Super Bowl champs. They're gonna win. But
I
that
seriously
game,
think they're going 12-5. It's insane. It's like crack. We're crackheads, man.
yes. And what they're selling is not good stuff.
Yeah,
but they're buying it. But going into this weekend, what do you think? Are we winning or not?
Well, he wasn't on crutches, but for everything we're all hearing about this talk, and Rodgers, it's his friend, so of course he's going to say it was a great talk. I have a feeling that may have woken up some of the shit. Is it going to be enough? Here's the thing: we crushed the Patriots without Hassan Reddick and Devontae Adams. If we can't beat them with those guys, then we got serious.
Great point. Great point.
What I mean? Like, it's like, and now a rookie quarterback, and I know like he's showing some flashes, but they have no offensive line. I was watching today. I watched the highlights of the Jags and the Patriots, and I was like, oh, the Patriots don't look too bad. Then I looked up the Jags; they're like 26th defense. It's like we're still, even with last week 37, we're still ranked as like a top 10 defense. So we literally should win by 3 or 4 touchdowns, like easily. But I'm not saying we will, but we should.
And that's what I've been saying. The thing is, like, all of us are expecting our defense, right? We're expecting somebody to be the savior. That's what we're wanting. We want the defense to score those touchdowns for us, get an interception, and score 14 points on us, because our offense, you can't do it. It's not happening. Right? It's not sustainable. You know what I mean? Like, that does not happen often.
I think you got to get it to Brees out in space more. I know.
Thank you.
I know it'll be like, oh, well, then they'll start defending it. All right, they'll start defending. Then you have Garrett and
throw it over the top. Exactly.
That the whole point?
Exactly.
Like, just dunk it down. Eventually, and Brees it's the one thing he's doing good this year is he takes those, like one of you guys were saying, he does the chip block, turns around, and then he takes the great angle. He knows how to get away from he may not have. I think he's lost a step since his injury in his rookie year, but he's still smart, and once he's past the line of scrimmage, man, he's.
I don't think he's giving his all. I really believe he doesn't give his all.
Well, I'll say this: I think there was a problem with our 4 big stars, even JJ, who wasn't playing that well before he got hurt. I think Sauce, Garrett, Brees, and JJ, there was something about them. They were like, finally Zach is gone. We got Aaron Rodgers. There was just a little bit of like, we're superstars, because they get treated like superstars. I think they got in their head a bit, and they didn't. And that was like, wait, what? We still got to work? Like I still got to run the rights route, the routes, right? I think there was a little bit of they were too much. Well, it's like my dad used to say, they were sniffing their own farts a little bit too much, just a little bit too much. But,
good job, Sam. I'm watching the Vikings.
Garrett's problem is he wants to do too much before he even gets the ball in his hands.
Yep.
Because it's what
the ball. Yeah.
Keep going
after the ball and make a play.
It's because he never had a quarterback since his NFL career like Aaron Rodgers, where if you see that ball that he threw it, slow it down, right? Slow it down. His face is like a kid on Christmas when he's just opening a present because he cannot believe he just got that PS5, that Xbox, that freaking toy that he's been wanting all year and all that. He's used to right? Having to fix his body to try to catch the ball. Same thing with Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin would have to do some miraculous movement to catch a ball from Zach Wilson. And it's what's happening with him. They're playing and thinking too much. They're like, I need to be here because he's going to get me the ball here. But is he really going to get the ball? Because, last year I had Zach couldn't get it, but he has a really good arm. They were comparing him to his arm to Aaron Rodgers because, look, he could do the no-look little throw and stuff like that. But then when you play with Aaron Rodgers and it's really Aaron Rodgers and that ball can get there to you where it's a wide receiver friendly, catchable type of ball and all that, he's not used to it yet. The chemistry piece, I said it before, right? Last year was supposed to be the very building of the chemistry amongst the wide receivers with him. This was the year for us to be firing at all full cylinders. Right now, what we're doing, right, is they're teaching them French and they're having the finals coming up right now and they need to ace the damn test. That's what's happening right now. And that's my opinion. That's what I see. You know what I mean? What I think that's going on with because you could see it. That post freaking news conference that Garrett had, dude, I thought he was going to cry. I've never seen him like that.
We were crying when it bounced off his chest into the defense. That
floated
pissed
in
us
the
off.
air.
But now, with that being said, we're just talking about the defense. How, I mean, we're still stellar, and now we're getting Reddick into this defense right now. And you want to talk about someone who's motivated. A lot of people might say, he's not in football shape. I don't believe that. I think the guy's in excellent shape, and there's incentives. What better motivation than money? I'm pretty sure, I know I haven't read the whole thing or whatnot, but I bet if the guy gets 12 sacks or 13, he's going to be making some good money this year. And
he's also playing for next year.
He's playing for next year. Yeah, absolutely.
He's auditioning. These final games, these final 10 games is for his audition to whoever is going to, whether it's the Jets or another team. It's an audition. So he's got to give it his all. Otherwise, he knows he's not going to get the contract he wants.
Wait, Barney, are you muted?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. You were muted. You were talking, and I just saw you going like this.
I may have muted myself.
Yeah, you muted yourself.
Because you know what I was doing? I was changing. I realized my name was all over my face. I was like, damn, I look like Bobby. Like, hi guys.
I love Bobby.
Look, I'm probably as fat as Bobby, but I don't want to look like him.
Dan, like I agree with you. I think one of my concerns is he truly in football shape? Because this is the Jets, right? Right, guys? This is the Jets, right? What would be such a Jet thing for this to happen? He has a crazy game, gets like 3 freaking sacks, right? And then he pulls a hamstring and he's out for 4 weeks or something like that.
Or he tears his Achilles or his ACL. Non-contact injury.
Dude, knock on wood,
by a truck coming in from the
right. Exactly. He gets eaten by Godzilla.
What I was saying, maybe while I was muted, but I was saying, maybe you guys missed it. I was trying to cut in something on the one. You know what I think we should do with Rex? Just because I was listening today on Barton Hahn, and he's like a Jet fan, man. Like, he might be lobbying for the position, and like not Bart, but Hahn was like, "So you think you do it again?" He's like, "I don't know." He was like trying to like play it off. But you know what? But he was talking about how man, you got Belichick with the X's and O's, but sometimes you just got to go out there and hit a guy in the mouth. Like, he was just talking about how like the Jets don't have that fire. He said like, while he was there, he made sure that they had that fire every game. What I think they should do is they should bring him in this Sunday to give a speech. They should make him the Dennis Bird with his big white teeth blinding everybody.
Absolutely.
That'd be amazing.
Like, I mean, Britt should be like, "Hey, I'm the coach right now, but you know what? This guy's here's the guy who got this team in this building to a championship, championship game, at least the AFC championship. Listen to what he has to say." And I don't know, but it may not work because it's a different generation. But
That's right. I would give the green light to Woody to medal on that. Do it. Go for it. Bring him in. Fire this team up, and then the team is going to be like,
"He needs your green light."
Hey, Dan, Barney, Afram, Armand. My take on Rex Ryan, right, is this: hearing Rex talk in the different platforms that he's been on, right? The thing that he said to me that stood out, he's like, I've learned that there's certain parts of me being a head coach that I need to give it up to other people, right? Compared to when it was before, where it was, I got to be this, I got to be that, I got to be the freaking plumber, I got to be the guy that's going to go out there and freaking sweep, I'm going to go ahead and mop, I'm doing it all, and I'm not giving it to anybody. I think he's learned that in time. He still can scheme up a plan that we're going to go into a game and that we're going to be prepared. And he's a motivator, okay?
That's the thing. He's a better head coach. He's a better head coach than
exactly.
anyone.
He's going to be that guy that's going to be there and say, right, we're fucking better than that team. The fucking Broncos, Sean Payne talking shit last year. You're going to let that guy come into our house, right, and do that stuff like that? This is the goddamn Jets. We're the New York Jets, baby. Now let's go have a damn snack. That's the stuff like that that's going to go ahead and motivate us.
He was angry.
And you need that, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You need some emotion.
And
the only problem is if you get him back next year, let's say, who's your GM?
JD. I still think JD. Look, JD's put the talent on there for us. Unfortunately, the coaching staff that we've had, right, hasn't used the tools the correct way. Okay, and we literally have an amazing garden right now. The soil is fertile enough to grow anything and everything that you want there, right? But we're forgetting to use the correct tools, and we're forgetting to water the damn thing itself, so this stuff could continue to grow, and we could get rid of that old narrative, the same old Jets.
We got the seeds and we got the water. We don't have the soil.
Yeah.
We don't
there
have.
You go.
We don't have the.
It's the pillars. The pillars are there, man, for us and stuff like that. We just need the damn foundation to be there for us. And it's like he said it. He said it. He's like, look, Damian Woody, I understand that. I love the fact that you're talking about, as a player, but that's bullshit. He said, right? I'm sorry, Dan, I keep cursing.
No, it's all good.
He said that's BS, man. He's like, it starts with me as the coach. I'm the one that has to go ahead and start this stuff for you guys and make sure you guys know that it's time to play ball.
Yeah, it's something that Salah says, and I've heard Brick say it too. It's like, oh, the best teams are the player coach teams. No, they're not. That's just not true. No. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not true. But LT, man.
That's the AFC. Was this the divisional game? Yeah, it's the divisional game against the Chargers, man. Oh, no. This was week 11? Oh, that's when we had Plaxico Burress. That's right. That's
so what year is this?
This was 2012.
13?
12, yep.
13. But 2000
in the offseason.
Tell me if my memory is right. We only had Braylon and Santonio Holmes for one season. Both of them, right?
2 seasons.
I thought we only had them together. They were both on the team like 2 or 3 years, but I thought together they were only together for one season.
No, you're right. You're right. It was
2009. We didn't have Holmes. Holmes came in 2010. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you lost and you got in Plaxico and like Mark. Like, I think every good team needs 2 good receivers, man. That's why I'm excited about Garrett and Adams, but we'll see.
That Nerve? That's Nerve Turner.
That's Norv Turner. Yep. Is he still around or no?
I don't know.
Get him.
Good offensive coordinator, not a good head coach.
Where's Armand? There you are, Armand.
That's what I
Sorry
mean,
about
man.
that.
Like I would love to see that stuff like that. And I think to Barney's point in regards of that, is he lobbying for the head coaching gig next year? I think so.
I think
I
he's
mean,
lobbying for a job somewhere.
because
Not at the
Yep.
Jets,
I look at it like this, right? With all the crap that we got, all the stuff that we deal, you're gonna have to deal with the owner that does meddle in with stuff and all
Mhm.
that, right? What coach is really gonna want to come over here? Do you think Ben Johnson
Mm-mm.
sees what's going on over here, is gonna
Well,
want to do that?
Bella,
Do you-
I don't want Belichick's not coming.
You
He-
pay
No,
him
no,
Belichick-
he would
money,
never come
absolutely.
Does anybody watch the show? He's like, yeah.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
hates
us.
Belichick hates Woody Johnson. He's
Hates Woody,
saying it without saying it, right?
Yes.
But Woody wasn't the owner when he was our coach for a day, and when he was our
Yes, he
defensive
was.
coordinator.
Yes, he was.
Woody
Yes, he was.
Woody
Yes, he
was
was.
the
I
Yeah.
thought
Why
it was
do you
still. I
That's
thought
the
Hess
reason
was still-
why.
No.
Why do you think Parcells left?
That's why
Why do
Parcells
you
left.
think Parcells left?
But wait, I thought the whole thing was Belichick was told that Parcells is going to go to oversee him, and he didn't like that. I thought that's what it was. But
That's
Wow.
that's
2000,
Woody
he bought the
meddling.
team.
that's what. Yeah. And that's why he didn't like it. Yeah. Which makes sense.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. And then why not bring a person that's already knows the media very well, knows the ownership and all
No,
that.
You don't go back. You don't go back. It's like going back to
Has
an
it ever
ex-girlfriend
happened?
that cheated on you multiple times. You just don't.
Yeah. It's like
Hey, listen.
it's like when you hook up.
She made
it's like
really
when
good
you-
meatloaf.
It's like when you
Yankees
find
brought
a,
back Billy Martin multiple times. He's won 2 championships for them.
That's true, but
That's it.
there is something about it. It's like when you find like an ex-girlfriend on.
I hate the
Facebook.
Yankees, by the way.
It's like when you find an
Okay.
ex-girlfriend on Facebook and you start chatting, and then you guys go out and have coffee, and you're like, "Oh yeah, why are we talking to each other again?" So
I
we'll
mean,
see.
but what's the difference between what the Jets do for us now? The Jets are that.
I don't think Woody will do it. I
You
don't think
just
Woody
start.
will do
You
it.
just start fresh all over again.
But who's gonna come on over here with us? Do you guys truly believe? You guys really believe that we could get a coach like Ben Johnson to come on over here with us?
Vrabel.
Yes.
No, they won't.
No,
They would have
Vrabel's not
to
gonna
be
come here for a rebuild.
They would have to be stipulations within that contract. The
That's what I'm
problem is
saying.
look at Matt Rule, right? He was going to be our coach. But because Woody Johnson said, if you take the job, we have to push Greg Williams down your throat as defense coordinator. And Matt Rule is like, no, if you're hiring me, I bring my own staff. Sorry,
Yeah.
this job
Which
is for
turned
you,
out to
Matt.
be a good move because he sucked where he went. So
Yes.
No, but wait
he
a
had his
minute.
own
Wait a minute.
staff.
He sucked
I
in
didn't
Carolina.
realize
He
he
had
did that to
Donald and
Rule.
Baker.
He did that to Rule, and a lot of people think he did. He made Salah keep Zach longer than he. Here's the bottom line. I think Salah coddled the players too much. I think we had to move on from him, either end of this year or end of last year. But the way he did it in the middle of the season, I do think a lot of the players on the Jets now, if Adams comes in and goes, "What's wrong with the energy?" It's like, dude, all these players love Salah, and he was fired unceremoniously in the middle of the year. I just every time you think about the Jets, if you think about it like you zoom out, it comes back to Woody. It comes back to Woody. I don't think we're ever going to be great until he sells the team or passes on.
That's what
Here's
Vinny
the
was
problem
saying
with-
last week.
Who said it?
That's the problem. The
Vinny.
only reason the head coach got fired is because the players didn't play.
True.
All right.
But
And-
here's the thing: we won 2 games with Salah this year. We haven't won any games since he left. I'm just putting it out there. We are 0-2 since they fired him.
Woody wanted to fire him in the offseason, and he decided not to.
Yeah.
Right. But it's also, I think, the story that like he was there in England with all his buddies because he lived in England, as an ambassador. I think all that's true. I think and this is where like I go on I love your show. I love Johnny, but like I try and go on the big shows like Jake's show, and he usually shuts me down because I talk too much. But it's like, I do think there's a thing about the Jet fan base being more positive. I'm not positive right now. If I watch the game this Sunday, I'm going to be drinking, and I'm not a drinker. I almost burned all these hats this past weekend. But there is something about the fact that our fan base is so big because it's a big market, and we just are like, oh, we got Rodgers, we're the best. And then it's like we set these things up, and it's like, and it keeps happening. Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook, Rodgers. It's like we set them up like, they're washed. Fire them, rebuild. It's like it's. I do think the fan base has some culpability, and because of the fact there's an owner, you see him, he's on Twitter reading the shit we say, So sorry, I don't mean to go off on a tangent.
No worries. Johnny boy, I need you to read this.
Oh, is Gino? Gino's here. Gino's on the call. Hey, Gino.
Check it out. What does Kate Adams say? Go for it, Johnny.
Hey, Geno Smith, what was the biggest thing working against you as a Jet?
Now read above it.
Ike's knuckles.
Left hook.
Dude, that's the truth,
Oh,
man.
right.
It's the truth. Look,
I thought you were gonna
Only
have
the Jets.
I thought you found a quote of him going Woody, like Woody Johnson was the problem.
Look,
But
man,
only the Jets, man. How does your own teammate knock you out?
Yeah.
because he owed you money. You better pay up, baby.
But it wasn't even
$8
much.
bills.
It was like
$8
$30.
bills he owed.
Hey,
$800.
hey, when you're a rookie, bro, you ain't getting that money, bro. That dude was an unfree agent at that too.
Did you hear Devontae on Kay Adams? She's like, "Oh, how'd you get your 17 back?" And he's like, "Oh, I took care of it with the guy with Corley." And she's like, "Oh, did you have to pay something?" He's like, "I don't want to say." She's
What
like,
do you
"Why
think
not?"
it was?
He said it would embarrass him. So I don't know if that means the kid asked for a lot or I don't know what that means.
I think he probably paid him the amount that he's making as a rookie.
Oh,
Right. Oh,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's what I think. And he doesn't.
You can have a jock strap. You take the helmet,
Dude,
Oh, fuck.
Did you guys see what Todd Downing said about Malachi Corley today?
How sick is that? Go for it. I did read it.
What did he say?
He's just pretty much saying that he's still learning how to be a pro.
Like he said, it like that.
Yeah.
Just like that, bro. He said he's still learning how to be a pro and all that. The guy has.
I think Rodgers doesn't like that kid for some reason.
Probably.
He was nah,
He
man.
moved him into his house.
He's living in
This
his
is the
house.
Jets' problem. This is the Jets'
Wait.
problem.
Who lived in his house? Not
Malachi Corley.
Corley
Oh, I
lived
didn't
in the
know
second.
Corley
Aaron
and him
Rodgers
are
has a
like
second house but in his house.
He's
He
probably
gave
not
that to
grasping
Corley.
the offense. He's probably not grasping the offense.
Wow.
I think he's being mimsed, bro. I've been saying it from the beginning and all that. Look,
And this
let's
is on Rodgers.
just
This is
say
on Rodgers.
let's just
This
say
is
for
on
what
Rodgers.
let's just say for what it is. Rodgers has to trust you.
Yep.
Right? We've always known that. He's not just gonna give the ball to you. It's the reason why he wants to give the ball to Garrett Wilson 20 times a game, which is insane and all that, right?
Even though Garrett Wilson isn't quite he's a little better, but he's still not quite in sync with him,
Right, exactly to my point and all that. So if I'm a coach, I'm putting Corley over Gibson. Okay, every time Gibson touches the ball, I think we're about to fumble.
Man, Gibson's got the yips. Something wrong with him.
Also,
Everyone
Rodgers-
got
The whole team has the yips. The New York yips.
Rodgers doesn't like rookie wide receivers. He doesn't like rookie wide receivers.
Right, he didn't like him and he didn't like him in.
Now, I'm one of those guys that I believe, right, is that you get the rookies that come in, you let them sit, let them learn, so they could be better the next years that are coming to learn how to be a pro
But
and
they
how to
gotta
be
get
that.
snaps on the field, Johnny. That's how they get better. That's how they get better. They can drop a pass in year two like they can.
How many people has tried that and failed?
Rookies can make mistakes in year one like they can in year two.
Okay,
You
but
just
how
gotta
many?
put them out there.
But how many players have come in as a rookie?
Then they should
and
have
has
just traded
excelled?
all their draft picks for nothing but veterans. Don't have any rookies on this team with Rodgers.
Now I want
That's
Corley.
what
I want Corley to play, Armand. I love Corley. I've been following Corley when he was over there in Western Kentucky and all that. When people were bashing him and saying that his route running was horrible, I was the one defending him because prior to last year when they were using him over there, right, when they had a brand new head coach, they had a brand new quarterback over there, and he was the best thing on that team. And they use him as a gadget player, right? They were the one wide receiver one running routes left and right over there and all that. But it's not
the college
talked
game's
about.
so different,
It is.
It's so simple.
It is. But what I'm trying to say is he has that pedigree to learn. When he came in and he said, I want to be next to Aaron Rodgers every single day. Like if the dude is taking a piss, I'm pissing at the next stall right next to him.
That's why he's not playing.
You know, that could be
His wife's
too,
like,
but,
dude, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of here.
you know,
That's not for you to hold.
because
Yeah,
if I'm because
that's not the
because
route I was talking about.
because if I'm a player,
Wrong
man,
route.
if I'm a player, dude,
Hands off the
right?
pipe.
I am sticking, and that's another thing that Rex Ryan said, right, on these interviews, right? If I'm somebody, I am soaking as much information that I can from all these players that I'm around. I'm around now Devontae Adams now that could run all the different routes. I'm gonna learn from him. Garrett Wilson, right? He's Gumby. How do you switch your angles, right, when you get the ball and stuff like that, and you do it with such the drop of the dime on that? Lazard, right? You've been with Aaron for so long. What are the things that Aaron really likes that I could do to showcase that I am this guy and I can be that guy, right? Rex said it about his son, and he was like, you better freaking take all the knowledge you can from Ben Johnson, because you know why? I did it from Parcells, right? And then I forgot the second guy. He said that the coach that he's like Bill Walsh, right? And said that those guys right there are who taught me how to be that. And then my father.
Who was, everyone knows, he was the defensive coordinator for the
For
Super
us.
Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, as far as Corley, right? Isn't that an indictment on our offensive coordinator? Like, we're not saying for him to play every down, but at
And
least
the
have
wide receiver
set.
coach.
No, but one second. The thing is, my whole thing is have set plays for the guy, maybe end arounds or a
Thank
screen
you.
somewhere where he can catch the ball, get his feet wet, and something where he could build on. Like, all right, he doesn't know the playbook. Okay, I get it. Some people can get it at first real quick. Some it just takes some. I'm a slow learner. Shoot, I know for me, it's going to take me some time. Maybe with Corley, he gets some plays there, and that might spark something with his learning curve, even that much more. But to me, to deactivate him constantly, not for nothing, that Davis kid, that Isaiah Davis, I don't want him running back kicks anymore. He'll never break one for a touchdown. I'd rather have Corley and Gibson. Deactivate Davis and put Corley
He's
back
good at
there.
special teams.
Did Corley Corley do punts or kickoffs in the preseason?
He did.
Yes.
Well, how did he do?
And practice.
Maybe
He did okay.
because
Look.
if with the rookies, if the special teams coach, what's his name, who's been there forever, if he
Moyer.
wants you in there,
Moyer.
then they'll suit you up. You know, like there's some reason that he's not even getting on specials. You know what I mean?
Look, I saw what he did with we went against in the preseason against Washington, right? And he got the ball in his hand. He was electric right then and there. You
Damn.
give that kid the ball, he was going against the ones at that point because most of our guys were not playing and anything like that. So Corley was getting a lot of run in there. That's what I'm saying. Like the kid, there's some people that you give them the ball, they're gonna do something, and he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
But we don't utilize that. We don't know how to use him yet.
But is this a leftover? Because don't forget, it's solid staff. Is it a leftover of the coddling thing? It's like, oh, Gibbs, we like Gibson. He's such a good guy. We don't want to upset him. There's that. I mean, you saw that with Brees at the beginning. Oh, we don't. Yeah, Braylon Allen's pretty good, but we got to give Brees his touches. We don't want to upset. There's a whole thing about not wanting to upset the players.
That's crazy.
That I think Rodgers may have liked that about Salah, but it's like, man, you can't. Once you get in the season, you can't do that.
No, not at all. Now, guys, I got to start wrapping this bad boy up. Number one, I want to give thanks to everyone.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so
We're all
much
going to
for
leave
showing
before
up.
you kick us out. How do you like that? Good
Nah,
show,
don't leave.
guys.
Thanks so
When is
much,
the
Juan.
show on? You guys on every Thursday?
Normally Thursday nights at 9, and we do a lot of impromptus throughout the week. So definitely feel free. Hit that subscribe
Next
button
week
if you
will be
haven't done so.
different because of the Thursday night game.
Yeah, so we might do like a 7 o'clock game leading up to
We
the
got
game.
a Thursday night game again?
Yes.
Like the
Oh, that's
Texans.
what I was
Prime
going to
time,
ask. I was going to
Prime
ask
time,
that
baby.
that Colts prime time. Did that get flexed out?
I hope
Not
so.
yet.
Not yet.
They could do it 2 weeks before. They have to do it 2 weeks before.
So we got to watch Flacco kick our ass again? Come on, man.
Now Richardson's back.
God, is Richard
Oh.
back? Yeah, we'll see.
That's what I'm worried about.
I'm worried about this week.
So-
No, we're gonna crush them
So
this
with
week.
week 11,
Absolutely.
hold on. The two games that we could get flexed out for would be either Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Kansas City, Buffalo. CBS is going to have to choose one of those two to protect. Because remember, CBS and Fox get to choose which games they want to protect.
The only thing is that when we get flexed out, we get the terrible announcers, and I got to try to hook up Bob Achusa. What's his name? I got to hook up the radio because I can't listen to those fucking network
I
guys.
can't.
You want
Pardon my language.
Collinsworth and the people on Peacock, NBC?
Yeah.
No, I want Mark Sanchez to be our guy again.
Yeah,
He did great, man.
absolutely.
I
He's,
like
he's a
Mark
good color guy.
He's awesome.
Everyone disses Romo. I like Romo too. I think Romo's good.
I love Sanchez.
Romo, what he does to me that I don't like, if he likes that team, he's all about that team.
Yeah.
He doesn't say shit about the other team. He's I don't care what they say. But I do like
He
Romo.
knows the X's and O's really well, which I like. It's a casual like me. All right, guys, I gotta walk my dog. See you guys. See you next
Have a
Thursday.
great one, Barney. You got
Barney's
it.
good seeing you, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Go Jets. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bells. Johnny, thank you so much, man, for co-hosting. Armand, as always. Afram, the voice of reasoning. Always. Go
I'm ready to
Jets.
collapse right now.
Let's go,
Dan.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yes,
If
sir.
this is for Afram, right? Hey, Afram, if we win this weekend by like 40 to like 8, right? Oh, no, not 8. 40 to like 6 or 9
Whatever, I get you.
or whatever. Do we get a picture on the wall of us 4 up there?
We'll see. We'll see how well they play.
Now,
Have
how
a good
about
night,
this?
guys.
They beat the
Yeah,
Texans. We get a picture on the wall. They beat the Texans on Thursday night.
No, that's not enough. That's not enough. We got to get to 5-5.
All right.
We
There you
get
go.
we get
That's
to
the
5-5. At that point, I think everyone's a believer. Just like
Dan, the
Shrek-
question
Shrek
is, does Liam come part of this though?
he has to.
Always.
He's got to. Guys, have a good night and go Jets.
You too.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80. First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.
4-5. 5-5.